Hey guys, my name is Jay Black. I am your Monterey Realtor, and today I am hanging out with Hiram. See, we talked about the pronunciation of the name, so I got it right. And we are here at his little studio here, Dunamis
Correct.
Sports Massage. Thanks for joining me today, Hiram.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure.
Yeah,
Anything.
I'm super excited to talk about this
Sure.
stuff. So, tell us a little bit about Dunamis. You know, how long you've been here, what it is that you do at Dunamis Massage.
Well, I'm a sports massage therapist. I specialize on muscle performance and injury prevention and recovery. So I've been doing this for about 4, almost 5 years. About a year and a half, I did that house calls, traveling everywhere. Starting from maybe like Marina all the way to San Francisco, Milpitas, Castroville, Watsonville, as far as I could go. And, through the time, I started noticing that my clientele was increasing and I was just driving so much. I decided, you know what, I think it's time. So looking for places, a friend of mine recommended me Pacific Grove, out of all places. Yeah, and now we're here. It's about 2.5, almost 3 years that I've been in this office, just about.
Wow, good deal, good for you. And why did you decide you wanted to be a sports massage therapist?
Well, I've always been active, but I didn't really understand what was going on through my body until I got a really nasty injury on my shoulder because I was lifting so many trays. And a family of mine, a cousin of mine, does the exact same thing that I do now. He did it back in the day. So I went and saw him, he helped my shoulder, and from there on, I asked him, bro, I've been taking ibuprofen for the past 2 weeks just so I can relieve pain, so I can be able to work. And, with that little bit of help, my mind exploded. There's no way, that could be real. So I started studying, I started reading, and I started, feeding myself with as much knowledge as possible about sports, about athletic care, and the passion started coming out. Correct.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So then you went to school and you decided this is what you wanted to do?
I went to school, finished college, and I decided to go ahead and extend whatever knowledge I got from there out to the community.
Good deal. Good deal. And what has surprised you most since you started your own clinic here?
The support from clients. Yes, and the word of mouth. References.
And what do you think your customers like most about this?
One of the first things they say is that I have never connected with somebody the way I have connected with you. Because I like to ask questions. I like to know where you have been. There's no way you're gonna know where the muscle has gone unless you ask questions. You can do an assessment, orthopedic assessment with movement and therapeutic care, but you can only get maybe 60% of the knowledge. But the other 40% is life itself.
Sure.
Like where have you been? The way you sleep. So I do this sort of thing where every time I have a therapy session with somebody, I try to connect as deep as possible because I want to get to know them. And that's one of the things they dig and they like the most. This one-on-one connection. They like knowledge. Because I'm always trying to learn something new.
Sure.
I'm always refreshing my brain. I have clients that are doctors, chiropractors, nurses, MDs, paramedics, military. So all of them are physically active. So they have gone through doctors, they have gone through therapists, so they have knowledge, of what their body needs. So because of that, I always have to read. I always have to fit this, all the time. And that's one of the things they like a lot, that I don't settle for just a little bit that I know, but instead I try to learn as much as possible for every single condition. I try to learn as much as possible, and I think that's one of the things they like the most.
So what does a session with you entail?
Well, as you know, everybody is different. Everyone has a different muscle density, a different lifestyle. But usually our sessions include it's called something orthopedic assessment, which we ask the client to promote very specific range of motion, maybe just lifting of their arm, maybe in some cases, to check how far their movement is naturally. And if we see some limitations of range of motion, then we move forward with a very specific technique called active release technique. This active release technique, it involves me grabbing a muscle that is not being very effective, compressing it, and asking the client to move the muscle around.
Okay.
What this will do is going to cause a very specific release on the tissue and open it up. And it's also going to help your muscle remember and feel what it feels to actually contract the way you need to be contracted. And then the muscle is more movable. The next thing I usually do is that I either do a percussion therapy, which we use a very specific type of gun, and we move the tissue around to warm up the region that we're gonna use for the next technique that we're gonna use. We want to increase as much blood flow and warm up the tissue because we want it to be more effective, and we don't want that much discomfort whenever we do the technique. And then we move up to muscle scraping, washout, or Graston. A lot of people call them different names. And I use stainless steel tools. And these stainless steel tools, what they do, they expand the muscle fiber. And when we expand the muscle fiber, then blood rushes to that tissue and helps for healing. Many times people are injured because their muscle fibers have scar tissue buildup, okay, because of either injuries, muscle overuse, trauma. So we want the muscle fibers to have as plenty and as healthy blood flow as possible. So these stainless steel tools, we push it down to the tissue and we promote this expansion of the fibers, therefore better blood flow. Right after we do that, the next step is that we usually use cupping therapy. Cupping therapy, what it allows is it pumps blood to wherever muscle we're gonna go ahead and treat. I use an air pump. It's a little gun, an air pump, and we put the cup on the tissue or the muscle that is not being very effective, and we pump air out of it. With that technique, the muscle starts stretching, the tissue starts stretching, and once again, similar to Graston, we pump blood to that tissue with efforts of better recovery during the healing process of the tissue. And we usually use Swedish techniques, some regular massage, but one of the biggest things that we like to do at the end is recovery boots, compression boots. What that does is some sort of pants that pump air and compresses the muscle. When you compress the muscle in such a way, your blood starts rushing. And when that happens, your metabolic system starts thinking that it needs to produce heavier oxygenated red blood cells. And when you do that, what happens is that your body starts getting rid of lactic acid, through your lymph system. It starts getting rid of lactic acid. It starts getting rid of inflammation because your blood cells are oxygenated. They're packed with oxygen, so inflammation goes down. So, athletes definitely benefit out of this. Injuries definitely can benefit out of this. Your average Joe can also benefit out of this, but this is how usually the sessions go.
So last question, what do you enjoy most about being a part of the Monterey Peninsula community?
I think it's enjoy giving back. I try to help on as many community events as possible. I know what it feels like to not have anything. Coming from an immigrant family, and living the first 4 to 5 months in a small little room, in a big house with mom, my younger brother. I know what it feels to not have anything, and then being blessed so much. So one of the biggest things that I enjoy is giving back. I form part of different community groups, that give back to the community, homeless shelters, teens in trouble, church events, and military as well. I do a lot of community events with the military and also with fitness community. I give back. I go to their events and I give free sessions for everybody because I know what it feels to be broken. I know what it feels to not have much. I know what it feels to not have the help. So that's one of the things that I enjoy the most is giving back. Giving back to the community.
Well, thank you for joining me.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's been great getting to know you and what you do here. So thank you.
For sure.
And thank you guys for watching. Until next time.
Thank you.